Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you may listen to this or watch this All Things Healing podcast. I want to share something that I was in a business meeting yesterday. That's what I want to call it. I was in a business meeting yesterday and I learned something, and I want to teach what I learned. And the meeting was called Standing on Business. And let me give you the analogy that this person used. It was so awesome. I literally found a picture of a tree in a tree trunk that I had a couple years ago. I can't make this stuff up. It's just so good. So when you're operating in your business, you're operating in your calling. Okay, when you're operating in your business, you're operating in your calling. You are the business, okay? You're actually an industry. So often you think about doing business than being business. So often you think about doing business than being business. A business, the definition of a business is an entity that has the capacity to profit from an activity. You have the capacity to increase from this thing called life, okay? I just thought that was... If you want to have a tree of success, you must plant the trunk first. If you want, and here's where I bring in my picture that I drew, that I had printed out. I didn't draw this, I don't think. I just printed it out on my Cricut, and I'll put it on here. So if you want to have a tree of success, you must plant the trunk first. So this is what we got to plant first, this trunk. A lot of times we're doing all this other stuff, and the business, the tree can't stand because it doesn't even have a trunk. We have to we have to build the trunk first. You have 10 gifts. Say all of these are your gifts, right? You have 10 gifts. What's the gifts? What's the gift that you're going to invest in to plant the trunk of your success? And in that trunk, you can grow from. So what's that one thing? Because when you are multi-talented, you can do a lot of things. I know, because this is me. I can do a lot of things. I had to focus on one thing. I had to focus on one thing and invest in that one thing and work on that one thing and establish that one thing. You must build the trunk of your tree first. Don't try to branch out before you have developed yourself. A lot of times when we're branching out, we haven't developed ourselves. And every little thing comes and it knocks us off our feet. So-and-so ain't supporting me. So-and-so ain't doing this and so-and-so ain't doing that. And you have to develop yourself first. You have to develop yourself in the areas of relational intelligence, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and leadership intelligence. Those 4 Qs will transform your entire life and your business. Because you operate your business, right? Your business does not operate itself. You operate your business. So you have to make sure that you are doing those things within yourself. Your business can only grow to the capacity that you have grown. A lot of things that hold us back are not other people. It's ourselves. And when you are about your Father's business, they won't understand what you're doing. When you're about your Father's business, people won't understand what you're doing. They won't. You won't be able to explain it to them because they will not understand. Stop trying to get people to understand. They'll understand in time. Stop trying to get people to understand. They will understand in time. Okay? Keep on doing the work. All right? Develop yourself first before you start working on this trunk. You got to develop yourself first. Because what happens, what is happening is you start building a business. The business is not sustainable. There's some areas that you have to work on first within yourself. Develop yourself first, okay? Stop talking down to yourself. Start talking up to yourself. You will win if you don't quit. You will win if you don't quit. If you want to have a tree of success, you must plant the trunk first. If you want to have a tree of success, you must plant the trunk first. You have 10 gifts. What's the gift you're going to invest in to plant the trunk of your success? Is that in that trunk, you can grow from it. So that your trunk can grow from it. Let me say that again. Say this all over again. You have 10 gifts. What's the gift you're going to invest in to plant the trunk of your success so that your trunk can grow from it? What's that one thing you're going to invest in? What's that one thing? All right. A lot of times we're trying to do a whole bunch of different things and we get nothing done. When I was trying to do all these different things, I was getting nothing done. I had to focus on one thing. I had to focus on speaking. That's what I had to focus on. I had to throw everything in there. I had to make investments in it. I had to take courses in it. I had to get training in it. I had to keep practicing, keep showing up. I had to develop myself first. A lot of times people are looking at your outcome, but they're looking at your recipe, but they don't know all the ingredients. They don't know all the things that it took you to get where you are. People think, oh, you just get up there and you can just talk about anything. It took me time to get here. It took me time to develop this. It took me time to develop strategy. It took me time to develop these skills and these tools to be able to speak, to be able to teach. I didn't just wake up and start doing this. I had to develop myself first. Because without that foundation, the tree can't stand. Without the trunk, the tree can't even stand. So don't focus on the branches when you don't even have your trunk planted. And the trunk is that you have to develop yourself first. What does that look like? Right? What does that look like? You got a lot of gifts. Invest in that one area. What's that one area that you're going to invest in? What's that one area? Pick one. Can't pick them all. Because when you try to pick them all and do them all, you get nothing done. Ask me how I know. When you try to pick them all and do them all, you get nothing done. I was all over the place because I did not know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was. I picked one thing. I started to develop myself in that area. I immersed myself in the information. You have to immerse yourself in that. And when you immerse yourself, you have no choice. It has no choice but to get in you. You're learning everything. You're feeding that area. You're focusing on that one thing. It's hard to focus on several things at one time. When I do that, something goes lacking when I do that. So I have to make sure that I focus on that one thing. And I focus on that one thing. And I throw everything at it. I threw everything at that one thing. I invested in that thing. I am still invested in that thing. Okay? You want to get better in that area, you have to make that investment. In the areas of personal development, there's emotional intelligence, there's leadership intelligence, there's relational intelligence, there's spiritual intelligence, and emotional intelligence. And those areas will transform your life. Okay, we have to work on the body, the mind, the spirit. Okay, so the body, that's the need. The mind, that's the talent. The heart, that's the passion. And the spirit, that's the conscience. We have to work on those things. No one can achieve a peace of mind until they have a peace of conscience. No one can achieve a peace of mind until they have a peace of conscience. And EQ is more important. They say EQ is the most important thing. Emotional intelligence is the most important thing, okay? Because having emotional intelligence will equip you with the self-awareness and the empathy. You need the self-awareness. Without self-awareness, you tend to project your motivation on other people. Without the self-awareness, you tend to project your motivation on other people. Okay? So those are the areas that you must throw everything in. If you are an entrepreneur, those skills, those tools, you're going to need them. You're going to need them. Because if not, everything going to knock you out. You're going to be irritated, frustrated. You have to develop yourself first. Okay? If you're in business, you must consistently develop yourself. Focus on that one thing. All right? If you want to have a tree of success, you must plant the trunk first. All right? What's that gift you're going to invest in to plant the trunk of your success? So that your trunk can grow from it. You must build the trunk of your tree. Don't try to branch out before you have developed yourself. Don't try to branch out before you have developed yourself. Stop trying to get people to understand. They'll understand in time. Keep working on yourself. I just had to share that because that blew my entire mind yesterday. And I was like, I got to share it with my people. So I hope this made sense. If it doesn't, it's okay. You may not be there yet. And that's all right. All right. So I wanted to share that. I hope you have an amazing day on purpose. Until next time. Later, y'all.